Thanks for joining us. Our next guest is a seasoned mortgage professional. She is dedicated to educating her clients on how to make the most important financial decision that alleviate financial stress and ensuring that they get the best lenders that will put them in the most suited position. She has managed to keep her business thriving during the pandemic, and she is here to share her knowledge and experience to help you do the same. Please help me welcome Brooke Shelley. Brooke Shelley, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I know you have a compelling story. You are very professional in many years of experience as a mortgage broker, right? And we want to learn all about it and how you are impacting lives all over BC. But before that, I want us to know, where does it all started? Let's go back. What's your background like?
That's a very good question.
Yes.
So I'm actually born and raised Edmonton, Alberta. So small town country girl, I guess you could say. I'm the youngest of two older sisters, and I actually had majored in English back then.
Nice.
That's a small passion of mine as well. So I wasn't anticipating to fall into this industry. To be honest, I started out in something completely different. And when I finished university, I actually traveled overseas, and I went and taught English in Shanghai, China as well.
Nice.
So that was a really cool experience. A little unrelated to mortgages, but
It's
still
where
nonetheless.
it started, right?
Yeah.
Did you teach here in BC, in Canada?
No, I never taught in BC. No. I just went off on a whim and went and taught there.
Straight up.
Yeah.
What was
really
it
cool.
like in China?
It's very different than it is here. It was a big learning curve for me. It was really exciting. It was just a big city, kind of like New York City, I guess. Those sorts of vibes. So it was fun. It was vibrant. It was exciting. I got to learn a lot about the different cultures. I ate a bunch of food that,
Right.
I had such good food. I had such good experiences. It was really cool. I'm really glad I did it. And I learned some Mandarin at the same time. So,
Nice.
yeah.
How long were you there?
I was there for 3.5 years.
3.5 years. And then
Yeah.
you came back to Alberta. Nice.
I went back to Alberta to visit my family, and then I had kind of, I really enjoyed the teaching aspect, but I wanted to explore my other career options at the time. And so I made a move out to Vancouver by myself and started in the industry.
When did you come here to BC?
It must have been probably about 7 or 8 years ago now.
Nice. How did
Quite a
you
while.
find it here?
I love it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's always sunny and exciting and just a nice place to be. Love the people.
When you came here, were you a mortgage broker?
No, I wasn't. When I first came out here, I actually started working for a lending company. So I was on the other side. I was on the side where they decide if your loan is approved and whatnot first. So I started underwriting. I was a senior underwriter for a lending company for about 6 years. I went between 2 different companies, so I got the whole background there, and
Nice.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
You are an English major.
Yes.
That was one of your passion. And then you make a transition into the mortgage brokerage. What leads you into that path?
Both of my parents growing up were in the industry, and it was general conversation around the dinner table when I was young, just what was going on in the market, and just listening to what mortgages were and how you could use them to help people and put them into better situations. So it kind of was a little bit inspiring that way, listening to my parents' success stories, helping out their clients, or things like that. So it kind of, that's kind of why I jumped into the same industry. I'm just a mortgage kid. I didn't really have a choice.
Yes, it's in the blood.
It's in the blood, yes, you could say. Yes.
Awesome. And then you decided to transition into being a mortgage broker.
You bet, yeah.
Awesome. Right, tell us about that transition. What caused you to go into that direction?
I think after spending so much time on the lending side, I had all the knowledge and experience that I needed. But it was more so for me. It was just I wanted to get the gratification of actually helping the clients and seeing them face to face and seeing how excited they were about doing a home purchase and whatnot. Because when I was on the lending side, I was more behind the scenes, so
Right.
I didn't get to see the emotional aspect of the transaction, right? So I thought it would be a good thing to explore.
Tell me about your experience as a mortgage broker. What is that, and how has it been for you?
So technically, a mortgage broker, when you go to buy a house, or you want to refinance your home or transfer your mortgage, you have the option to go directly to the bank or go to a mortgage broker. And a mortgage broker technically works for all of the banks, and they work directly for you. So my job is technically to find the best solution for the client that fits their needs, their financial situation now, and sets them up for the future as well at the same time.
Do you have your own business?
Technically, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
as a broker.
I'm a mortgage broker. I'm self-employed. I'm independent.
How long have you been running your business?
I've been independent now for just over a year.
Just before the global pandemic, right?
Yes, yes. I've technically been in the industry on this side for about a year and a half, so I've seen it and how it's affected everything for sure.
Nice. What was business like for you before the pandemic?
Before the pandemic, it was busy, business as usual. It was interesting to see what happened when it did hit and how it affected everyone in the housing market. When the pandemic first hit, business slowed down quite a bit. I think people were really nervous and hesitant, trying to see what was going to happen in the financial industry. And, everything kind of went on pause for a little while, so it was very, interesting. Since then, it's picked up, but we had a lot of people generally move from, because I work downtown Vancouver, right? So we had a lot of people that stopped buying downtown and started actually migrating to the suburbs because everyone started to work from home. So there was no demand for to purchase downtown anymore, right?
But your business basically has sustained itself throughout the pandemic.
Yep.
Right? What was your strategy?
I think a lot of the business during the pandemic was actually, we saw a lot of financial turmoil for some people. So we had a lot of my clients actually were looking to refinance, which is another option you can do with your mortgage, which means, you can consolidate your debts and get a lower interest rate and things like that. So I saw a large upturn in things like that at that time. So it was nice because it gave me the opportunity to help put my clients into a better financial situation with their uncertainty with the marketplace.
I've observed that the market
Yeah.
basically is rising to a new high. I saw in the news where it says in February was a recorded month in sales.
Yes.
What happened? Is that people have more money now, or what happened?
I think with the pandemic, a lot of the regular business that would have happened then, a lot of people held off, right? They're a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant to buy,
Yes.
and so a lot of those buyers actually are coming to buy now. So it's almost double up the market now that we're back into play. Also, we have record-breaking low industry rates. The mortgage rates are insanely low right now. They've never been this low. We're looking at rates that are, below 2%. And that's ever since I've been in the industry, over, I guess, the 7 years that I've worked in the industry, I have not seen them this low. So
And
everyone's getting in now.
yeah, capitalizing on it.
Exactly. So it's
I've
a really good
noticed
time.
This is something I've observed. I know of someone who was trying to sell a property a while back, about a year or 2 years, for about 700,000. It was on the market for 6 months.
Yeah.
No one bought it. Recently, this person put it back on the market for 1 week. It was sold for 1.2 million.
Yeah. Yeah, the market's wild right now. There are a lot of multiple offer situations. There's not, since it's been so busy, it's the supply and demand is a little off right now. So we're seeing it to be very high.
It's all about understanding the market, see where it is going, and move with it.
Yes.
And you're doing that.
Yes, it's my job to educate people and to make sure that they make the right choices that put them in the best situation for their future.
What do you think the next year, 2, 5 years look like in the real estate market here in the lower mainland of BC?
Just with the shift of people working from home now, I think we're going to continue to see a growth further out in areas like Abbotsford and Chilliwack and those areas further out, just because people are not necessarily going to the office anymore, right? There's no reason. So there's not very much reason for them to buy downtown. And it's also happening in major cities like Toronto as well. A lot of people are moving out to the suburbs just because of the way that everything's going. I think we're going to see an interesting surge in that.
And the main thing that is moving the market is that people are staying home.
I think it's a huge factor, for sure.
Yep. I know a few realtors.
Yes.
And while businesses seems to be good, they went on for months without a sale. In the music industry, they would call them like starving artists.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a challenge I see, and that is in the realtor space.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the mortgage broker space, but
yeah, it's very prevalent too, for sure.
For you personally, do you find it okay for you, to get clients, to achieve your goals, all of those things? Or do you know of any things that apply to other brokers, to the industry in particular, especially now with the pandemic and all?
Like challenge-wise? Yeah, for sure. I definitely know what you're talking about. A lot of newer mortgage brokers have a hard time getting clientele. It's a very competitive industry, and you have to find your niche and find what sets you apart, right? I think essentially the most important part is just making sure you always have your clients' best interest at heart. And getting them like listening to what they're asking for and actually, providing that. And once you do a good job for one person, it just continues, and the referrals come in and it just filters out from there. So and you just get to keep helping people achieve their goals, right?
Awesome. There's something here I want you to talk on. Now, for people who are thinking of selling their property, or people who are thinking of buying for the first time, or people who are thinking of refinancing, what advice would you give them based on your experience, understanding of the market, and where do you see the next 5 years going to be like? What's your advice for them?
Advice for them right now, especially just with the uncertainty in the market, definitely, purchase well within your means. I would be a little bit more on the conservative side. Just to make sure. We're seeing a lot of people, because of the pandemic, have lost their jobs, etc. Those sorts of things make it harder for people to afford their mortgage, right? So those are things that, I have a lot of clients that come to me and they want to know their max purchase price. They want to know, like, what's the most they can buy for, and then you let them know and they go out and they buy exactly that amount, right? And I think right now with the uncertainty, it might be smart to maybe be a little bit more conservative with that value so that your payments, you can make sure that your payments are low, just in case, right? Just in case what the future holds. But other than that, I mean, it's the rates are low. They're super low. So it's also a good time to expand your portfolio as well, right? You can, we're seeing a lot of increase in rental purchases right now because the rates are so low.
Awesome. What about people who are trying to sell? What strategies should they take into consideration? If you have a property and you're thinking of selling it, is now a good time to sell it, or should you keep your property just to see what's going to happen?
I do think it's still a good time to sell, because the values are quite higher. So it's a good time to get a good return on your investment, for sure.
Awesome.
It all depends generally what your long-term goal is, though, right? So it has to line up with what your plans are for the future. But yeah, I would say it's still a really good time to sell.
Tell me this, though. What would you say is the best part of your work?
Honestly, it's just helping the clients. I've had some unique scenarios in the past little while. One of my all-time favorite stories is this couple I had. They were living on the island, and they were just in a mortgage situation that was just, outrageous, the amounts that they were paying. They were struggling to get by. They were both professionals, but they just somehow got into a bad situation. and I was able to help negotiate their refinance with a new lender, and we ended up saving them something like $3,000 a month on their mortgage, which is insane. So they were insanely grateful, and I was super happy because, they were in a situation where they felt like they couldn't get out. They kept, kind of treading water per se, and I was able to help them like substantially, and I was very, very happy. They were super grateful. Just seeing how relieved they were was very nice.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that is why you do your job.
Yes,
what you do.
For sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. I know it's kind of scary to put all of your to give someone else your financial responsibilities, but that's my job. So
it is, and I'm sure there are lots more stories like that.
Yes, and it's kind of cool because you get to deal with unique situations too, right? Especially just different types of homes, different types of situations, different families.
What is your work-life balance look like?
That's a good question.
Yes.
I work all the time. I like it. I like my job. So, but I try to keep myself sane. I do a lot of exercise. Actually, a lot of my friends would say I'm kind of an exercise junkie. I get up at like 6 a.m. every day. I usually do a fitness class, or I'll do a 10-kilometer run in the mornings, and that's how I get started for the day. I just kind of have to get that done out of the way, and then it's kind of a nice way for me to relieve my stress and get started with my day, and and then usually, I'll tend to work throughout the whole day, and then my clients need me anytime, anywhere, so
always on call.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And because of your interest in serving your client, you always try to make yourself available.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah. But it is important because you have to have a work-life balance.
Yes.
For sure.
So what do you do in your spare time whenever you find it?
Actually, I have a lot of random hobbies. Like I was saying, exercise. Yeah. I do play guitar and keyboard, nice. and I grew up singing actually, so I do that sometimes just for myself. Nice. Makes me happy. So it's something I do on the side, and other than that, I have a cat actually. I adopted him when I lived in China. He was a little stray cat, so I actually adopted him and brought him home with me.
How old is this cat now?
He's about 8 now. Yeah.
So from baby.
He was a little baby when I adopted him. Yeah,
Nice.
And I brought him back with me. I just couldn't part with him, so I try to spend as much time with him as I can. And other than that, I just spend time with friends and family. That's really important to me. And I noticed that you mentioned earlier that you also do a music business as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Certainly. So that's one of the programs in the pipeline. We want to manage talent, promote talent, support talent. I love music. Me
too. Me too. Yeah, I love music. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So cool.
I grew up in Jamaica, where it's all about music and dancing. Mm-hmm. It's in me, and I just want to see it continuous.
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of it. You said you play piano.
Yes.
And guitar.
Yes.
How did that happen?
When I was younger, I actually my big goal was actually to be a singer. When I was really little, I grew up watching artists like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, so I was very inspired by those sorts of situations and those sorts of artists, and I had wanted to have a career in that space. So I took it on as a hobby when I was young. I was my mom actually put me in singing lessons at a young age, probably about 15, 14. I started singing competitively, so yeah, that was really cool, and I just found it very therapeutic. I find that everyday life can be quite stressful, so it's nice to have an outlet. So I did that for a while. I did it competitively, and then in recent years, I guess my brother-in-law, he bought me a guitar for Christmas, and I had gone and bought myself a keyboard as well. Nice. And I just taught myself. I taught myself to sing and play, and I love it.
What stood out to you as like one of your greatest moments, whether it's in your career, your personal life? What would you talk about?
There's a lot, actually. I do think that one of my greatest accomplishments personally is actually, I was young when I went out to China, and I think that was a little bit new and foreign to a lot of people. The idea that, you know, I would move out there when I didn't know the language and I didn't know what to expect, really. So I took a big risk, you know, uprooting my life and moving out there. And so that was and then it turned out to be such a good experience that I can't complain, right? So that was a really good thing for me. It taught me to, I guess, take care of myself and, you know, and to have confidence, which is huge, huge.
So tell me, what's next for you?
Well, hopefully in the coming years, just continue to keep growing my business and continue helping my clients, you know, make the best financial decisions for them. And personally, I do plan to eventually invest in some properties myself in the States as well. That's something, you know, that I'm looking forward to, and, you know, having some holiday vacation homes down there and, you know, continue to grow my portfolio as well. Where do you see your portfolio of real estate expanding to in the near future? Any plans to buy? Any plans to invest? Any plans, you know?
Good question. I like that.
Do you need a mortgage broker?
I'm gonna.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna. But for me, I'm not so much interested in a house.
No?
I'm interested in a business.
Ah, yes.
A corporate property.
Okay.
So I will be buying a corporate property first before I buy a residential property. I like what you're doing. You are, you know, your passion to help people.
Yes.
To make financial decisions, because real estate may be the most important
purchase. Biggest purchase someone makes in a lifetime. Yeah, it's a very stressful transaction, right? So, you know, my job is to kind of take the emotional stress away from you and to, you know, just get it done behind the scenes so that you know, you can be excited to move into your house or into your new situation.
How can people reach you if they have any question they would like to ask, if they want to work with you?
Yeah, I have a big social media presence, so I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I have my website, and you can call me literally anytime, 24/7.
I hope you're inspired by today's discussion. Let us know in the comments below what you found most beneficial about Brooke's message. Don't forget to check out Brooke on Instagram and Facebook and reach out to her for any question you may have on today's discussion. Follow us on all social media at Leighnibor Academy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel because more amazing stories are on their way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hi, I'm Brooke, also known as Broker Brooke, here today on Profile, brought to you by Leighnibor Academy.
You're watching Profile.
Brought to you by Leighnibor Academy.
See ya.